Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Nancy Beauvair here with Agape and NEXsteps. And the topic for today is about estate planning for diverse families. Now, I know that none of us like to think about estate planning. None of us like to think about our mortality or that something bad could happen to us and we could become incapacitated. But it's a very important thing that we do. We have to make sure that what we're doing is we're planning, I call it future-proofing your life. We have to be prepared so that our loved ones are also prepared when something eventually does happen. So estate planning has to do with making sure that you've got all of your legal documents in place, that you've taken the appropriate steps to plan your finances and your inheritances. Make sure that you've named your beneficiaries and that you're leaving things to those people that you wish to leave them to in an appropriate fashion that can't be challenged. You also want to do some planning so that you're making sure that you're minimizing the tax burden on your loved ones and on your beneficiaries. You also want to make sure that you are taking care of anything for creditors down the road so that your loved ones and your survivors aren't burdened with dealing with creditors. Those are kind of the fundamentals of what you need to do when you're doing your estate planning. Now, what happens though if you are in a non-traditional family? What happens if you're a diverse family? So let me give you a few examples of that. Nowadays, there are multiple second and third marriages. And often that complicates things because there are often children on one side or the other or both. And if it can get even more complicated if it's a third marriage and there's even more children and grandchildren to take into consideration. How do you plan for that? How do you make sure that your children are getting what you want them to have if you pass away before your new spouse? What happens if you are living together and you're not married? What happens if you're an LGBTQ couple and maybe there are some legal issues in your province or state about how things can be passed down to them? These are all things that you have to take into consideration. Also, more and more, there are people who have never been married, don't have children, but they've accumulated a fair number of assets or a fair bit of wealth. And how do these people take care of their estate planning? You have to make sure that you get the appropriate advice so that you are able to leave your legacy to those entities and those individuals that you choose to leave them to. It's really important to get guidance on this. If you're not already a professional working in the area of financial planning or law, it's important that you get proper advice. The internet is a great place to find information, but it's also a great place to get disinformation. And what might be right for your circumstances isn't necessarily what's right for somebody else's circumstances, and maybe it's not covered on what you found on your Google search. Rather than take the chance, doesn't it make sense to talk to an expert, a professional, and make sure that you're getting the proper guidance? I'm a legacy and lifestyle planner. I'm a certified executor advisor. I can help guide you through those steps to make sure that you are dealing with the right professionals at the right time to make sure that your legacy is secure. And while we're consulting and talking about your legacy planning, we also talk about your lifestyle planning. We want to make sure that you are secure in the lifestyle that you are currently living in, that you're happy with, and make sure that you can, to the best of your ability, maintain the lifestyle that you wish and that you envision as you age. As usual, I've got an article over on my website. Hop on over there and you can take a look at it. It'll spell out in a little bit more detail how you can properly structure your legacy and lifestyle plan if you are a diverse family. Thanks very much for joining me today. I hope that this has been enlightening, and I look forward to sharing more with you again next week. Bye for now.